Hey guys, this is Josh. What I want to do today is make a quick video for everyone so you can see how to get set up on Qortal. If you're here and you're wondering what Qortal is, think of it as if you're alive back when the days of AOL and dial-up modems. We've come a long way since then. We've got things like Wi-Fi, cloud computing, blockchain, which hopefully is familiar to some of you. That's what we're talking about today is the new evolution or the next evolution of the internet. So if you've heard of Bitcoin, if you've heard of Ethereum, those are blockchain technologies. Those were the initial disruptors. And Qortal is building off of the original idea of the blockchain, which many would argue for Bitcoin and Ethereum has become somewhat corrupted. The idea was to have a decentralized way to move forward with the internet. We see a lot with censorship today in society, a lot of problems there. Qortal is the answer to a lot of those problems, to go back to decentralization. So what we're going to focus on today, and hopefully a quick video for you, is how to get started. So what you can see in front of me here, and I'm on my Mac computer. I'll do a few videos today. We're just going to look at how to do this on a Mac computer, but more or less the steps are the same for a Windows computer or for a Linux machine as well. So the first website you want to go to, which I've already got open, is Chordal.org. This is going to be the place you're going to start to say, okay, how do I access this new technology? How do I get onto this information superhighway, this new blockchain? Well, go to Chordal.org, and you're going to see right here, downloads. So we'll start in the download tab. And it says up here, the Qortal platform is comprised of two parts, the core and the UI, or the user interface. As it would sound, the core is going to be the most essential component. It's going to be how you get onto the highway. It's your connection to the highway. The user interface I kind of think of as if you're going to be on a highway, probably going to want to have a good set of wheels, a nice car. And we'll talk about how to change your oil, how to look at the tires, make sure that you're gassed up and get you cruising along on that highway. But for right now, let's stick with the core. So like it says, download both the core and the user interface for your operating system below. First, we see Windows, and we see Linux, and then we're down here to the Macintosh. So with Mac, we're going to start with the Qortal core, and I'll show you how quick this goes. It's only 32 megabytes, and it's done. So if we open this up, we've got it right here in our downloads. Now, I'm not going to unzip this, but this is what it's going to look like after you unzip it, because I've already got this on my computer. And I've got a few backup folders in here. Let's not worry about that right now. We'll get to that as maybe step 2. But more or less, this is what you should see. You should see a DB folder, and you should have probably not all these logs, because again, I've been using my core, but you'll have something called Qortal.jar, the run, the settings.json, and then the start and the stop shells as well. The next step is we're going to right-click here after we've got this folder set up, and you're going to open with text edit. Now, when you initially set up your core, you won't have any of this language typed in here, but you can take the settings that I've got inside my JSON folder and make sure you type them just like I have them right here. So you'll have the 2 opening brackets, which would be this bracket here, and the closing bracket. And in between them, you're going to want to type max peers, just like it appears here. I would recommend starting with 25. And if you think you've got a little bit of a stronger machine, you could kick that up to something like 33. I use 66 for myself, and that seems to run perfectly fine right here in my Mac. And to give you an idea, my Mac is not all that powerful. So let's see here. If I go to About This Mac, it's a machine from mid-2013. Nothing spectacular, 1.3 gigahertz. I've only got 4 gigs of RAM. And I'm pretty much maxed out on my 120 gigabyte hard drive here. I'm pretty close. So this is not a new optimum peak operating machine, and yet still, the setups that I've got here in the settings.json folder work perfectly fine for my core. And these are crucial. You want to have the max peers, the min blockchain peers, and keep notice of the capitalization that we've got inside here. That's important. And then also the API documentation enabled to true as well. And you'll notice on this last line, there's no comma. I've got a comma, and then the last line, no comma. So you'll repeat that for your settings.json, just like it appears right here. And we're just going to cancel that because, oops, revert changes. Just in case I messed anything up, I don't want to change that for myself at all. So now we want to test that we've got this all downloaded. Is it working? So on a Macintosh, you can hit your Command spacebar, and we're going to type terminal inside here and hit enter. This is going to open up your terminal. Now, if you've never used one of these before, don't worry. I'm going to walk you through some very simple commands. But essentially, this is the back office of your computer. This is what's running behind the scenes when you're clicking with your mouse and opening applications. So the first thing I'll type to see where I'm at is ls. And inside here, I see all the directories. There's my Chordal directory. So I'm going to type cd space Chordal. That takes me to the Chordal directory. So now you can see the command lines changed a little bit, and it says Chordal Omega 513. Now let's type ls again, and we can see a bunch of our folders, and this looks just like what we've got in here. It's identical. All the names are exactly the same. This is just a back office way of looking at what you see on your screen. Now what we're going to do is hit start or period / start.sh. And notice what happens here. This is to start our core. This is how you're going to start your core every time you start your computer, or if you need to stop it for any circumstance and restart, that's how you do it. So you see the pop up in the middle of my screen here with the Chordal logo. Wait for that to go away before you start doing anything. This is letting you know that it is loading up the Chordal core and you're getting started for yourself. It'll take a few seconds here, usually about 10, 20, sometimes 30 seconds, depending on other things you got running in the background, or like me, how fast your machine might be. So mine's probably a little bit on the slower end of things. Yours might go a little bit faster. Now, we can see that up in the top here, that opened up. And you should see something like I'm seeing here, which is synchronizing 99%. How many connections you've got. Remember, on my machine, it's maximum 66 connections. And that height is going to be your block height that you're currently at. Now, if you're just starting with a fresh core, you're starting at 0. We're going to show you how to get a little bit further along because I'm over 320,000 blocks. So it'll take a little while for you to synchronize starting from 0, but there's ways to get you out there a little bit faster. And if I remove my hover, and let's just go back there for fun and see if that changed at all. Nope, still sitting in the same spot. Sometimes you'll see those things change, your connections will go up, your block height might start increasing, all good things. Okay, so we've got our core started. That's fantastic. Now we're gonna see how to do what's called bootstrapping. This is getting you from that 0 block height to a more significant block height closer to where the blockchain is right now. Here you wanna type qortaldb.com into your web browser. I've already got us pulled up. Now this one I'm not gonna download because it is a 20 gigabyte download here, but you would just click on this link and that would take you to a downloadable file. Going in your downloads folder, you would have something called a db.7z file. So if I go back into my Chordal folder, and you can move it after it downloads from your downloads file into this Chordal folder, that would be highly recommended. Now, before unzipping this db.7z, which is called a bootstrap, and takes you from block 0 to 320,279. And you want to get fully synchronized. This is pretty close to fully synchronized, but you can see here, I'm at 322,324, and it's still synchronizing. We're getting pretty close, but I'm not quite all the way caught up from having started to do some of this tutorial for you guys, but that's okay. So going back in, if I take us back into our Chordal folder, before we go into the bootstrap, there's a very important step that you want to do. There's two ways you can close out the Qortal core. You can go back into your terminal, and inside of our Qortal folder, okay, I'm in the right place, you would type ./stop.sh. Now I'm not going to hit that command. I'm going to show you the other way to do it. If you hover over up here, you can right click. And again, my machine's a little bit slower, so sometimes it takes just a second to get that command function running. And it pops open. And let's hit exit. So that should disappear. There we go. Now that we've got our core stopped, and let's go back into here, I can delete that. I don't need this. This would be when you would unzip this db.7z. Now, before you do that, you can see I've done a couple bootstraps, because what you do is you'd go in here and you would rename this folder backup db, and I would just give it a 3 if I was going to go ahead and do that. I'm not actually going to, whoops, I don't want to really do that. Let's keep that our main folder, but you would create backups of your other databases here to keep record of your blockchain. Now, if you're unable to open this folder, you're going to need Keka. You can go type in keka.io/en/ and download the Keka archiver. This helps you open that .7z file type if you're not able to do it already. Once you've got the Keka, it's very simple. You just come right back here. You've installed Keka, great. Just double click this and this will unzip for you into a brand new DB folder. And you should have 3 documents: blockchain data, blockchain properties, and blockchain script. Once you've done all that, you now have your core fully set up, and we can go back in here and we're going to start our core up again, because now we have what's called bootstrapped. So you will no longer be at 0 block height. You'll be at 320,000 and change, much closer to synchronizing, much closer to actually getting onto the entryway to the information superhighway that is the Qortal blockchain. Once you're fully synchronized, then you have access to the blockchain and you can use it with full functionality. So we see again that now our core is up and running. You can see my connections are lower because we just restarted it. They're starting to pick up and they're starting to climb. That not minting, don't worry about that right now. That's step 2. Right now we'll get your core set up. And then the second piece here is our user interface. So if we go back into our downloads, you had your core here and you've got your UI right here. Not going to download this right now because I already have it installed, but you would just click this. It's a DMG file type, which is a Mac installer. This is guaranteed easy to open for you. All you would do, go into your downloads file, double click it, drag into the applications like you open any other application, and you'll have installed the Qortal UI. Once it's installed, it's going to look like this, and you can open your Qortal UI just like any other application on your computer. So let's give that a second as that opens up here. And this is going to be, like I said before, you've got the blockchain, which is the highway system. This is your car. So this is me right here, and we'll log in. And I recommend opening this window up. It's got better functionality in full screen. But if you don't run it full screen, that's okay. I like to run it this way because the functionality is just a little bit better. And I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So inside here, this is my current wallet with my Qortal account. And there's other things you can do. You can come into the messaging. You can go to what's called Q chat. Here are some different chats that I'm a member of. There's always the general chat, which everyone always starts with a membership of. And in here, you can see that there's people chatting away. You'll notice some people have names. Other people have not quite gotten there yet. When you're brand new, you will not have a registered name. That will cost you 0.001 Qortal. People are more than happy, and I'd be more than happy to send you 0.001 Qortals to get your name registered. But as you get set up, you're going to start minting eventually, and you'll earn your own Qortal as well. And so inside here, once you've created your account, I haven't gone through the full account creation process. That'll be for another video, but this is what the Qortal UI looks like when you're all set up. Thanks, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will have some more for Windows, for Linux, and for other functionality in getting yourself set up on Qortal. Have a good day.